Hi. So I'm working on some freestyle prayer, biblically inspired gifts. Some are for my daughter. She already knows what they are. That's how we are. We're very picky usually. Or to be surprised, it's like it better be exactly what I want, or I'll imagine what to do with it eventually, or give it away, or all of the above. I really don't know. But on this other freestyle prayer that I've been working on off and on is in memory of my older half brother, John Eugene Helton, also known as Johnny McClain, John in the Sun, and his most famous name out there, I would say, to some that are aware of him and really got to know him, is SYP, SIP, stands for Shit Your Pants. That's one of his favorite quotes, and I have known him since I was a baby. He used to pretend it's one of his superpower abilities, like he's some kind of hero out there, as he claims he doesn't know, without a lie detector test, who's innocent, who's guilty. So he'd go around and force everyone in his path to shit their pants in real life. Anyways, he told me that's his life before me. That's who he really is. Part of him. A cult that he got recruited into. And from what I've seen, I don't know what else he did with making others shit their pants other than to do it for power and control. Some might actually disintegrate someone once they get him to do that. But then he admits he just doesn't really know who belongs disintegrate and who doesn't, or he's lying. I really don't care. But anyways, I've been exposed to that side of him. And I saw this skeleton that I've already shown before at the 99-cent only stores. And it looks just like him, so I got it. Hold on. And I'm adding to it. Punk rock is one of his styles. And I kind of, at first I just put it on the wall. But I just added an eye. Aquamarine is his birthstone. He was born March 5th, 1970 something. I always forget, but he knows his own information. He is supposedly born in like Kansas or Texas area. I don't always remember. I wasn't there, but whatevs. It's already documented electronically and more. And anyways, I added this necklace. The binky, I put yellow because our biological birth mommy, Deborah Lynn McClain, Lunatic Len, PPP Puddle. She also does the retardation, only she makes others pee their pants. That's supposedly one of his recruiters into that. I never joined. I just know about it. Then the middle one is a diamond. Well, it's a plastic bead, but it's very similar. It's the only color I got right now. So I added that. And in a minute, I'll give the definition of the whole necklace. Here's a little rocking horse. I put a white one for purity. He has biblical education of some kind. I don't know if he understands it. Or maybe sometimes he does and then he doesn't. That's his spiritual journey, some might call it. Anyways, the necklace stands for what everyone's made into, which is something he at least tried to embrace sometimes. And it's fashion, art, and etc. So some really do accept they are not qualified or entitled to more, so they just go about that. And for others that are supposed to be doing whatever else, they might have to wait and do the same. And then I remember in the early 90s, he had a little girlfriend named Kimberly, Kim K. And I don't know what happened with that, but I It's like his imaginary soulmate, although she exists. I don't know if they end up being related or they just aren't meant to be. The fact that they neither one qualified for marriage, so like who really cares? But they're supposedly the same age. And so I added the little bracelet thing of him holding it because I remember his little thing for her. And pink is supposedly her thing. Or maybe she likes Barbie also, like I do. I don't really remember knowing her that well. I just also know she exists, at least at that time. I don't know what happened to her. Anyways, so I put a little pink binky and the diamond and the rocking horse as a symbol of what her existence was made into also. Fashion art and etc. Like I said, I don't know what happened to her, but whatevs. So anyways, I put the little skeleton together. This is what I do to deal with reality until I get to do more. As Jun probably already knows, I have called him my son before. Pretty sure he knows he's on my hit list. He belongs disintegrated for existing crimes. I've collaborated with him on ideas spiritually, and I've even brought them to his attention in real life, and he seems to be like a paranoid schizophrenic, scared of victims and real business people and whatnot, and what I am supposed to have already, all my resources. So it's like he runs away. He used to make me shit my pants when I was smaller, when I was a little girl. When I was already potty trained, and then Deborah Lynn McLean, she'd do the pee thing, and I would imagine something good out of it, since I can't do much more about them, like disintegrate them. Eventually that's gonna happen anyway. So I also imagined, what about John Eugene Helton in a public glass, non-breakable bubble where it's like the toilet land for all the victims that they get to go, but it'll be one like a prison for victimizers only, while waiting for their disintegration date or resources in general to be transported to another prison, more alone. I don't know, these things need to happen, whether that idiot gets to be a part of it or not. He always brings it to my attention that he's much older, but he's not smarter. That's the thing. I don't know if he can imagine what it's like to be not only higher in roots, like myself, so I was actually made to be one of the smartest. Some people will say that's everybody, but it's not. I talk to the dolphins and the sharks in the ocean from time to time. The dolphins will say during this time it's not the days of the fen. So the dolphins, they're kind of like the lifeguards of the sea. They can attack, and they might have before, but it's more likely that's what the sharks go and do, whether they know you're innocent or guilty. Sometimes that's what they do, and all the animals are innocent of doing anything wrong. They had told me that the humans try to possess them and use them inappropriately, when sometimes the animals do know, they have perfect vision, and sometimes they are already aware of certain situations. Sometimes birds have recognized me at the beach. I went one summer daily, and I shared my lunch. It was early in the morning, kind of between like a brunch, and I was there at the same spot every day to where the birds, they would meet me there. They'd all line up in a line, and it's like they knew I was going to arrive. Another time, my cat, Electric Gizmo III, he used to walk me to the light and pick me up, along with my daughter at that time, at that location. We were in the middle of moving, and we got put in the streets by fake presidential representatives. And during those times, the animals remind me they are in a similar situation as me, and we freestyle prayer. They do it how they do, and I do it to whatever I got access to also, so to embrace that. Anyways, this is what I was doing a moment ago, and I also included this teardrop diamond-like rhinestone. I'm going to add it to the Jun skeleton thing. It's supposed to represent one of JCT Pop's Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace teardrops, as I collab spiritually with him regarding what if he was here more personally, and we did an art session together, and he told me one of his eyes might shed blood, and the other one, a rainbow of paint, and then I can just dip my paintbrush in it, and he could do the same as when he gets his full ability, as he is part of God. Anyways, that's another story. I've mentioned it in writing and on Facebook and my webpage and more, but those are some things that me and JCT Pop, Jesus Christ the Prince of Peace, collaborate on future memories like that. So I included one of the teardrop shaped stones because John Eugene Helton also has been exposed to some biblical education, and if he didn't know what I know, JCT Pop, Jesus Christ the Prince of Peace, had told me personally that after he got murdered, King God, who me and him also make fun of about God's perfect timing because he did get murdered for no reason under hypnotic memory deletion twisted psychology because of the peasants, and then some call that God's plan. It's not. Anyways, he claims that he multiplied spiritually with anybody made after him, animals and humans, regarding the Lord's army. So supposedly anyone before him that he walked with in person, not them, but the ones after. And I find it interesting and yet retarded for him to have to go through that, but then he reminds me the same thing. That's King God's walk for him, or his path, because there'll be a day. And then the other gods and goddesses aren't part of that. They rather do immediate sentencing, and King God has a problem where he likes to play crown testers. It's like deal or no deal. And if you don't accept that deal, same thing is declining, so how about the next? That's what King God does with everybody. So, probably best just not to be a peasant. And if you've already been one, to unjoin, become a peasant prince or a peasant princess. What that means is to retire from sinning. Some people have rewritten biblical scripture from the originals to lie and twist it with the truth. JCT Pop, Jesus Christ the Prince of Peace, and some other characters that come out in the Holy Bible and more have told me this, along with the gods and goddesses, kings and queens, that that's not what it's supposed to really say. And then I try to share what I have came up with, what I'm supposed to help put out there, and some get offended by it because they can't handle the truth of reality and who they are 24/7. That's not my problem. That's their sentence. Maybe they should try to freestyle prayer too. I don't know, and some will recognize they've done it before. But anyways, that's all I'm really kind of saying, is that reality is not what it's supposed to be. And I remember when my soul was made and I chose the relationship with the gods and goddesses, kings and queens, as they show me what it's supposed to be. So, for example, I already wrote a story about that too and made some videos, but when my soul was made, it's like once I accepted this deal to live forever, there's unicorns, Rainbow Falls, and whatever else. There's like this magical waterfall. Then my cat, Electric Gizmo III, as I have told about this memory before, he told me, well, Rachel, that's like when my soul was made. And the image of the tiger, though, that they were both drinking out of that Rainbow Falls where my soul was made. So maybe all the souls were made at this rainbow waterfall-like place where I remember unicorns and whatever else, in this magical waterfall that had a rainbow through it. And the fact that my cat talked about it too, Electric Gizmo III, there was another time, and I already put this on my webpage in one of the posts, it shows my cat. I took a collage of pictures where it shows the whole process. A light hit him through the window, like real strong. Some will say, oh, it's just the sunlight. It's not. King God talked to both of us that day First, he got Electric's attention. It's like he said it out loud, Electric. And then Electric started turning his head slowly, and the light got brighter. And then it's like he was there having a conversation. And then I went over there, and it's like King God said, "Hi, I'm not talking to you." And then continue with Electric. And then I told Electric, I started saying blah, 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 blah. And then Electric just told me the days of the paw. To go be an animal doctor and whatever else. And I let him know I do not have access to that education. Even to become an authority, I know I qualify for these things, but I do not have access to my resources. Many animals have talked to me. I remember when I was homeless and I stopped by the duck park where I've gone since I was a baby. And the ducks said, "Rachel, you can stay here with us. Even though they fly away, they come back, or there'll be more." Pretty much, that's some of my real family also. I even thought about it. My whole entire situation, how sickening is this that I can't do more for them and they're inviting me to come stay at the park with them. Anyways, I don't care who believes me about animals talking to me. And I just know they're my real family, and when it comes to humans, I don't always know. And there is lie detector tests, and for the humans that I do know that aren't my family, they belong disintegrated immediately, or in prison while waiting for a disintegration date, or whatever it is, and leave me alone, along with the animals. No one wants them pretending with us, because then it turns into us being forced to pretend with them, which drives them crazy. Yes, and they start infatuating over victims in general. It's weird. This is what they do to me and the animals. Anyways, that's another story again. I'm gonna go about whatever else I'm gonna do. Bye!